Good morning. Welcome. So excited to be with you. This is a special day. We're going to wait just a few moments for everyone to join us and get on the live video. We're going to be taking on scroll number 8 this morning. Scroll number 8 is I will multiply my value 100-fold. Hello, Steve. Welcome. Appreciate you joining us this morning. We'll give everybody else a chance. Paul just joined us. Thank you, Paul. Eric. Thank you, Eric. Scott Quinney's with us, the big Q. Way to be, Scott. Good morning, everyone. Miriam. Good morning, Miriam. It's great to have you with us. I'm going to give everybody just a moment to jump on and be part of this live before we start our celebration this morning. For those of you who are watching this, would you please share this with your friends? We've had almost 10,000 people view this, each one of the sessions on average. It's been so exciting to get the comments and have people talking about spending some time with the scrolls. These scrolls were written in the language of the intrinsic. That means unlimited application, unlimited interpretation. They meet you where you are. You don't have to come to them. They'll come to you. Some of the greatest breakthroughs I've had studying the scrolls have been just in the last year or two. Like, where'd that come from? I don't remember ever reading that before. And there it was. And it answered a question I'd been pondering. So let the scrolls come to you and serve you. Well, let's jump into scroll number 8. Now, today, December 12th, is Og Mandino's birthday. So big happy birthday to our dear friend looking down on us from up above. Thank you, Og, for your contribution to this world and how you've impacted all of our lives. So grateful to you, and so happy birthday. And what a great scroll to dive into, because this is what Og was all about. Today, I will multiply my value 100-fold. And he starts the scroll with these words: a mulberry leaf touched with the genius of man becomes silk. A field of clay touched with the genius of man becomes a castle. A cypress tree touched with the genius of man becomes a shrine. A cut of sheep's hair touched by the genius of man becomes raiment for a king. And he asks us this question: if it is possible for leaves and clay and wood and hair to have their value multiplied 100-fold, yea, 1,000-fold by man, cannot I do the same with the clay which bears my name? That's why we talk about my clay. We take our clay. I choose me. We want to do that before we begin today. I choose me, because we're going to take this clay and we're going to multiply it 100-fold. And then he gives us a great example. He says, we're going to liken ourselves to a grain of wheat. Just imagine that, just a little grain of wheat. And he said, we have 3 options. Option 1, I'm going to put you in a sack, dump you in a stall, and feed you to the swine. In other words, your life's going to be wasted. Oh my goodness. What would be an example of this? Maybe spending the whole evening watching mindless television, playing video games for hours at a time. That could be wasting our life. Then he says option 2 is that we can be ground. This is an interesting visual. Ground into flour, made into bread, broken open and devoured by the will of others. That would be a job without a purpose or a mission, where you just go and put in your time and come home. And you just get ground into flour until you're just burned out and overwhelmed and discouraged and going through the motions and spinning your wheels. That's option 2. Then he proposes option 3. Option 3, he said, to grow and multiply. If we're going to multiply our value 100-fold, to grow and multiply, it is necessary to plant the wheat grain in the darkness of the earth. And to my failures, my despairs, my ignorance, which means those things I haven't yet learned but can learn, things I don't know but can know, and my inabilities, the darkness in which I've been planted in order to ripen. And ripen means to mature, to grow up. To grow up, literally the seed opens up, it grows up. Now, like the wheat grain, which will sprout and blossom only if it is nurtured with rain and sun and warm winds, I too must nurture my body and mind to fulfill my dreams. In other words, we can't get to where we want to be thinking the way we're currently thinking. We may not be able to get to where we want to be in the current physical condition that we're in. We may need to make some changes. But to grow to full stature, the wheat must wait on the whims of nature. I need not wait, for I have the power to choose my own destiny. It's my choice. So we get planted in this darkness. That's our life experience. It ripens us, it matures us, and we begin to grow. How do we do this? We'll set goals. And he makes it clear that we want to have our goals be really big goals, but in this order: for the day, the week, the month, the year, and for my life. We have a tendency to think about goals in terms of what I want, and then we're frustrated we don't have it. And we live in resentment and resistance and frustration and overwhelm. No, we have a goal for the day. We accomplish this one, and then we celebrate. We accomplish the next one, and we celebrate. The next one, we celebrate. And an accumulation of days, 7 of them, make a week. 30 to 31 days, or 28 in February, make a month, and 12 months make a year. And lots of years make a lifetime. But we start with a day. And he says we push ourselves. He said, the height of my goals will not hold me in awe, for I may stumble often before they are reached. If I stumble, I will rise, and my falls will not concern me. That means to be resilient, to leap back up. Now, confession. Yesterday, we had a wonderful basket delivered, and it had some olive sauce, I guess you would call it, spread, olive spread. And crackers aren't on my diet, but there was a cracker in there that had pretty low carbs. So I put some spread on. I had one. I wish I had one. So I had to have some protein to offset it. It showed up on the scale this morning. Yeah, it showed up. Well, do I get depressed? No. I did my exercise program, and I pushed even harder, more committed today to be on my program, to get to my goal weight. My rise and my falls will not concern me, for all men must stumble often before they reach the hearth. Only a worm, think about that. Only a worm is free from the worry of stumbling. They're already crawling on the ground. I'm not a worm. I'm not an onion plant, reference from scroll number 1 when he said he wanted to be an olive tree, not an onion that's ripe in 9 weeks. I'm not a sheep from scroll 3 about I don't need to be prodded. I will build he says, let others build a cave with their clay. I will build a castle with mine. This isn't about being materialistic. This is just about building the most you can with the clay you've been given. This is the castle, not the one you live in. This is the castle. I'll build a castle with mine. I'm not going to cower in a cave. Today I will surpass every action which I performed yesterday. I will climb today's mountain to the utmost of my ability, yet tomorrow I'll climb higher than today, and the next even higher than tomorrow. I was listening to this paragraph when I got to my 10th run this morning in my sequence, and I said, let's do 2 more. So we did 2 more. I did 2 more. Me and the treadmill, right? Did 2 more. It's wonderful how these scrolls can inspire us to push just a little bit harder. We want to announce our goals. Why? Because it holds us accountable. And even if someone says, that's ridiculous, it's okay. Let's beat that prophet. Let's speak it. Let's go make it happen. He said, I will be as my own prophet, and though all may laugh at my utterance, they will hear my plans, they will know my dreams, and thus there is no escape for me until my works become accomplished deeds. Now, if you're going to speak it, it's critical that you actually do it. Because sometimes we say stuff and then we don't follow up. This time, let's announce it and let's actually create it. This is in a small blueprint. He says, today I'll multiply my value 100-fold. I'll commit not the terrible crime of aiming too low. Let's push ourselves a little bit. I'll do the work that a failure will not do. You'll hear more about that tomorrow in scroll number 9. I'll always let my reach exceed my grasp. But remember, when we've got a goal for the day, we accomplish that, we get to celebrate it. But our major goal is still reach beyond our grasp, but we celebrate. We create, celebrate, create, celebrate. And on he goes. Never will I proclaim my accomplishments. I love this conclusion. Let the world instead approach me with praise, and may I have the wisdom to receive it in humility. Now think about each one of us implanted in the darkness of the soil in order to ripen, to grow, to turn from 1 grain of wheat to 100 heads of grain and then beyond. Imagine if we all lived in this space. So Og has us consider it. He said 1 grain of wheat, when multiplied, 100-fold will produce 100 stalks. Think about how we can network and multiply and share principles and possibilities. Multiply these 100-fold 10 times, and they will feed all the cities of the earth. That's a challenge for us. Let us be the beginning of this process in our own lives. I am more than a grain of wheat. I'm more than a grain of wheat. Today I'll multiply my value 100-fold. Let us go into the world today and choose to be influencers. The world needs people who have dreams, who can announce them and can create them, and then show other people how to actually do it. Let us be okay with our despairs and our failures and our ignorance. That's the fertilizer, if you will, that's going to help us grow. To plant the darkness of the soil in the humus. Humus. The root word of humility. To truly be humble. It's not about false humility. Humility is a willingness to be planted in the humus, to mature and grow and become all that you are meant to be. As Og said in scroll number 4, to strain my potential till it cries for mercy. Let this be your day. Let this be your day. And happy birthday, Og. Thank you for the blessing that you are in our life. And thank you all for being a part of this and participating. Please share this out to your friends so that they can be inspired to get into these words and start living them in their lives. And go and get your habit finder taken. Habitfinder.com. It's really simple. Habitfinder.com. Can't be any clearer. Why habit finder? Because when you read these scrolls, Og is talking to us about habits. Habits that we'll want to replace with good habits, and good habits that we'll want to multiply. Well, let's find them. Let's find out where yours are. Where do you need to focus your attention? Where can these scrolls come alive and give you the highest value and rate of return for the time that you invest in them? Get your habit finder so you know where to focus your time and energy and get that kind of result. Thanks, everybody. I always love to, after we get done here, to read these comments. I just want to stay focused with you while I'm on. Thank you for being here. We had someone here from Malaysia yesterday, someone from Russia. Oh my goodness, how exciting. Get this out to the world. Let's see if we can't send a wave of goodness. That's Alan Kruskamp, our friend. He calls it the waves of goodness. Let's send some waves of goodness out to the world today and bless some lives. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day. The best day of your life.